Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, as you can see, I'm back home on U.S. soil, in the greatest country in the world. No disrespect to my UK subscribers or anybody else out there, but the greatest country in the world, and that is America. So shout out to America. It's great to be back in America. But yeah, we're back here on set here of True School Sports, getting back into the swing of things. And to get back into the swing of things, we're going to do one of these prospect review videos because these prospect review videos are quite fun. In today's prospect review video, we'll be talking about one of South Florida's very own, but more specifically, one of Davie, Florida's very own, my main man, 50 grand, Bad Blake Davis, a cruiserweight prospect, 4-0, 2 KOs, you know, progressing up the ranks in boxing. So I'm gonna give you guys information on him and why he's someone you should why he's someone you should look out for as time progresses. Because a lot of times we do these videos, I do these prospect review videos, and I talk about a lot of fighters you guys don't know about, but then later on you find out about them. Like an example of that would be like Logan Yoon. I was talking about Logan Yoon in this segment of videos a year and a half before he fought Ohara Davies and got splattered by Ohara Davies. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about Bad Blake Davis. So he's 4-0 with 2 KOs, a 6'5" cruiserweight from Davie, Florida. He is the fighting part of Davie, Florida. He is Davie, Florida's very own. What can we tell you about Bad Blake Davis? Well, here's some facts about Bad Blake Davis. Okay, now he started boxing to learn self-defense because he was jumped at a high school house party back when he was in high school, and when he was jumped, they beat the hell out of him. You know, he was pretty much injured from the waist down. All of his other professional sporting dreams were shattered because he had dreams of playing other sports and getting scholarships for other sports. So he went to the boxing gym to learn self-defense, and he met a man at the boxing gym by the name of Jeff Ports. Shout out to Jeff Ports. Beta Bay Restoration. Shout out to him. He met a man by the name of Jeff Ports, who was his amateur coach and is now his trainer. And Jeff Ports took him to the ringside national championships because he saw something in Blake that he liked. And Blake Davis won the ringside national championships at the age of, 16, 17 years old. So this allowed him to parlay a chance to box for Team USA, not in the Olympics, but in national and regional tournaments. So he boxed for Team USA with 17 amateur fights after he won the ringside national championships. And the rest, as they say, is history. He turned pro not too long after his amateur career, and he's 4-0 with 2 KOs. Now, notable sparring partners for Bad Blake Davis, okay? He's got 2 notable sparring partners, okay? One comes in the form of Felix Valera, the very crazy Felix Valera, the Cuban light heavyweight. He's done some sparring with him. I believe they sparred at 5th Street Gym down in Miami, so shout out to 5th Street Gym. And then he also sparred my main man, 50 grand. You know, he's from Brixton, London, but he's one of South Florida's adopted very own. Isaac Chamberlain, yes, he sparred with Isaac Chamberlain at the Kangaroo Boxing Gym down there in Miami, Jorge Rubio's gym. And so he's getting good work. He's getting experience and getting the proper seasoning in the gym, in the professional ranks of boxing that he needs to improve his skill set moving forward. So shout out to Bad Blake Davis getting in some good work with solid bodies in front of him like Felix Valera and, of course, a friend of the channel as well, Isaac Chamberlain. Blake was also he's also an officially licensed plumber. I believe his family owns a plumbing business. So that's one thing that's interesting about Blake Davis, is that he's very opposite in terms of his upbringing to most fighters, because most fighters, as we know, come from low economic backgrounds. They come from backgrounds where you would consider the ghetto, the slums, the trenches, and Blake didn't come from that. Blake came from pretty much a more privileged background than most fighters, and he's still boxing. So I find that interesting because he has every reason not to box, but he boxes anyway. So you gotta give him props for that at least. And one thing interesting about Blake, and I want to highlight this really. So he's had 4 fights. He made his name here in South Florida professionally. Fighting on a lot of the heavyweight factory cards at the Hard Rock through his 4 fights. He was a big ticket seller. Like he was selling he was selling excess of $30,000 worth of tickets in his 2nd, 3rd, 4th professional fight. And now he's decided to take his career into his own hands. And he's actually started his own promotional company, Bad Promotions, and I actually have the fight poster in my hand. January 17th, Bad Promotions. As you can see, there's Blake Davis right there. Bad Promotions right there. They're calling it Only the Strong Survive. So there you go. Only the Strong Survive. Bad Promotions is his first fight card here in South Florida. He's got people like Rafael Akabajori, heavyweight prospect, on the card. He's got Maureen Shea, former women's boxing world champion. He's got Philip Jean Saidi, who gave him the toughest fight of his career, on the undercard as well. So it looks to be an interesting night of boxing. But I think it's great because a lot of times fighters don't have a lot of control over their career. And just, I've had a lot of personal conversations with Blake Davis on the phone about boxing and whatnot. And what I got from Blake Davis is that he's a very driven, very ambitious, very focused individual who's smart enough to put the right people around him to put on a great show. So I'm hoping it goes well. Obviously, he's a South Florida guy, like I'm a South Florida guy. And, he's a friend of the channel. So I'm going to be there January 17th to cover his fight, to cover his event, and to, do what I can, do my part to support Blake for bringing more boxing to South Florida. But yeah, kudos to him because, he sold so many tickets. He sold so many tickets when he was fighting here at the Hard Rock, but he only got a certain percentage of it. So now he can get more of that for himself, do right by himself, and hopefully he does right by the fighters on the undercard as well. That's what I'm really worried about because sometimes you just don't know what goes on behind the scenes. But I do know some of the people that he does have working for him, and they're good people, like my man Johnny Scholes. Shout out to Johnny. So hopefully it goes well. I'll be there to cover it, and we'll see how it goes. Other factoids about Blake is that, obviously aside from his amateur coach Jeff Ports, that's his main trainer, he's also trained by somebody that we know here very well on True School Sports, and that's Jesse Robinson. Yes, that Jesse Robinson, the legendary Jesse Robinson. Jesse Robinson is in his corner, and he's been in his corner for about since his fourth professional fight. So when he fights on the 17th this month, it'll be the second time that Jesse Robinson is in his corner. So, some facts there. And then just as far as him as a fighter, he's a fighter that I think is very raw. He still needs a lot of work. He's still got a lot of room to grow, and he's still learning, how he's still learning how to refine his boxing skills. Because I think his best attribute is his power. Because so far in his career, he has dropped every opponent he's fought so far. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's dropped every opponent he's fought so far in the first round. So it goes to show you he knows how to land his shots and place his shots, but he hasn't been able to finish. And that comes with time, that comes with experience. And I believe that as his boxing skills improve, that area will improve as well. So Blake, listen, the sky's the limit for him. He could go on to become a contender. He could go on to become just a good local South Florida fighter, or he could go on to become a world champion. We don't know what's going to happen with Blake Davis, but he's working hard here in South Florida. He's sparring some quality fighters like the Isaac Chamberlains of the world, and he's got good people around him. So I'll be rooting for him. I'll definitely be following him here on True School Sports. I would say his best punch as a fighter, his best punch from the fights I've had a chance to watch, and I've seen pretty much all of his fights. I think it's his left hook. I think his left hook is his best punch. He's got a good uppercut as well. He throws it a lot. I think he needs to mix his jab in and work his right hand in there a bit more. But these things come with time. These things come with seasoning. These things come with preparation in the gym. And he's working very hard. He just recently, not him, but his trainer just recently opened up a gym. And he's training there now. So they seem to have a decent setup between him and his trainer. And now with his own card. And hopefully, he matches himself. Because to be fair, he might be giving himself soft touches. I don't know how that's going to work. I don't know if he's going to match himself or get his own opponents. These are the questions I have for him whenever I see him next. But Blake is a good fighter. Blake is somebody that has good power. At the worst, if his career goes to utter crap, he's going to be a fun TV fighter to watch. But if he continues to apply himself, he can definitely be a contender within the next 3-4 years. I can see it happening. But he's got to really improve and put that work in the gym, and hopefully he does. Because so far, in his one step-up fight, he passed it. He passed that test against Philip Jean Saidi. Philip Jean Saidi was there to win. Philip Jean Saidi took him to some deep, dark, and uncomfortable places. And Philip Jean Saidi cut him, and Blake was able to narrowly escape with a victory. But he's got to improve, and he's got to have more step-up fights. And we'll see how he progresses, and we'll definitely be keeping track of that here on True School Sports. So there's information on Blake Davis. He was an officially licensed plumber. He sparred with Isaac Chamberlain. He won the Ringside National Championships. He had about 17, or he boxed for Team USA with 17 amateur fights. He started his own promotional company, Jesse Robinson is in his corner, and he's dropped every fighter he's fought so far in his career in the first round. So, yeah, bad Blake Davis. There you have it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you take the time to subscribe. Like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.